G'day, welcome back to another episode of TOGL. Thanks very much for your patience. I know I missed last week's video, I apologise for that, but as some of you were aware, I was actually on jury duty all week last week, so I really didn't get a lot done. That tied in with the fact that the weather hasn't been that great. We are getting the odd nice sunny day, as you can see today probably. You can see the sunlight down there. It is quite nice today sun-wise. There's not much cloud around, but boy, it's still windy. The gusts of wind still keep coming through. And up the top where our little house is, it's howling a gale up there. It always seems to be, but it is drying out, which is great. I've got a lot to talk to you about this week on this video. The chickens, those little chickens that we got, they're growing really well. The eggs that we've got in the incubator are due to hatch very soon. And I want to talk to you a little bit about our solar system. I've had a couple of questions about that. That was a solar system that we bought from Red Earth Energy, so I'll run over that with some details and show you how that's working for us as well. But right now, I've got to get to milling. I need to build a chicken coop of sorts. We're actually going to build what's called a chicken tractor. What it is just like a big chicken run with a little chicken coop on it, and it's one that's built in a way that you can just drag it around through the paddock, so that way they get the free range on the grass. You move them to a different patch of grass every day. Obviously they're pooping and whatnot, so that's fertilizing the ground as well, so it's great for the paddock, it's great for the chickens, it's great for us. So I need to build one of those. First thing is to build the two skids that it's going to slide on, and for that I need some 4x4s, so 4" by 4". I need them to be 10 foot long, two of them. This log I've just trimmed down. It was about 13 feet. I've trimmed it down to 11 foot so that I can then cut those beams out of it. Then once I've got the beams cut, I'll square off the ends. I need to round one end like a skid, because if you're going to pull it across the grass, you don't want a sharp edge that's going to dig in. I need to round that up, and then we'll get to building it. The other day Kay and I were down here and we milled up the last of the big block of macrocarpa that was sitting here. We milled that into panels that are a bit over 1 centimetre thick. They're probably about 12 mil, 13 mil thick each. We've got a lot of those panels. I think we've got about 13, 14, and they'll be used to clad the coop part of it to keep the chickens nice and warm and build some nesting boxes and that sort of thing. So right now I've got to finish tensioning up the blade and get this log milled. So I'll show you a couple of minutes of just some milling and that. I know some of you really like the milling. I like watching people mill as well. It's just amazing. And then we'll get on with other things. But yeah, sit back and I hope you enjoy this episode. So I've just stripped all the bark off this. It is blackwood, so I need to wear a dust mask. The reason I'm going with blackwood for the skids is because it's so dense, it's really hard wearing, and it's really heavy, so it's good to have that base, especially the winds we're getting. We want a nice heavy base on it, something that's going to be hard wearing when we're dragging it around all the time. So blackwood skids. The rest of it will probably get made out of the Tassie oak, which is basically just a stringy bark eucalyptus, and the macrocarpa, as I said. I've got a good flat side here to go off, I'll roll this over 180 degrees so that this is face down. Then I'll cut until I get a nice flat, and then I'll have two parallel lines and I can start working out exactly where I'm going to cut those 4x4s out of this log. The reason I want to get rid of a lot of this bark is because it's been on the ground quite a while. There's mud and dirt and grit in that bark. Cutting through that, it'll, you know, dull the blade very fast. So we get rid of all that bark. And make sure none of it's on the track, because that's why I had to stop before, because there was bark on the track. It jammed up the wheels. Well, that's it for this afternoon. I've trimmed up everything I needed to. I've got the two skids, which are 4x4s, so 4" by 4", which is about 100 by 100 in mils, and they are 10 foot long. This was all in American measurements, so that's why everything's in feet and inches, the plans that is. And then I had to cut a heap over here. I had to cut several 2x4s, so 2" by 4", and they'll be for building all of the framework around those skids. So mill's all clean. You can see that wind is still blowing quite a bit. I'm going to take the tractor and head back up and have some dinner. What I'm about to show you next is some footage that was taken about a week or so ago, maybe even just a tad longer, when we got our first little chicks that we bought. So we bought the 2 dozen eggs, we put them in the incubator, and then Kate was like, it's going to take forever to get those chickens to be laying eggs, about 17 weeks or more. So we thought, well, we'll get some chickens that are going to lay eggs. Now, she misread the ad and thought that she was getting 8-week-old chicks, but there was 8 1-week-old chicks. So we got those chicks, so I'll show you those. Some of you have seen them on the TOGL Facebook page. But I'll show you a little bit about them when they're first coming in. Then I'll jump to what I'm going to film shortly, which is how big they've grown, and every day they're just growing so fast. Now, what we're also going to be doing is this Saturday we're actually going to be getting some 17-week-old chickens. So those ones will start laying over the next week or two. I think about 18 weeks, that's when they start to lay. So that's going to give us around 7 or 8 chickens that'll start laying right now whilst we're waiting for those others. So we're going to have a fair few chickens, which is fantastic. They're all different varieties. The little chicks are, I had it on the tip of my tongue and now I've lost it. Silver Wyandottes, I'll put it up on the screen, and a picture of what they look like. That's what those little chicks are. And the ones that we're going to buy on Saturday are Quambies. So they're apparently a very good chicken, and we don't have any Quambies yet, so we're going to get some Quambies as well. And then the eggs are another mixture of another half a dozen sorts. So anyway, let's jump over to the chicks arriving in their new little brooder box about a week or so ago, and then I'll show you how much they're looking now.
There you go.
A noisy one, that one.
Okay. There you go. So cute.
They are.
Little cute. Okay, there we go. He's behaving himself. He's not being aggressive or anything. Don't. You can hear the noise.
Mm. Well, back up here in the house now, and let me show you the size of these chicks. They have grown a lot, I'm sure you'll agree. As you can see, they've got a lot of feathers on their wings. Even up onto their shoulders, and little tails coming out. There's one or two that still don't have the tail yet, but yeah, they're growing really well. So these are the Sussex. And he just flew up, so we've got to be careful. They will fly. And catch him. And back you come. There we go. I better get the lid down because they're getting a bit flighty. So yeah, they're doing really well in there and growing really fast. Now we've got the eggs up here, and these are in what we call the lockdown period. So you might notice that there's no rollers in there anymore to roll the eggs. This is day 19. The eggs hatch on days 19, 20 and 21 apparently, so there's no sign of activity yet, but I'm sure that over the next 48 hours we are going to see several, hopefully more, of these eggs hatch. So next video you'll see a lot of them. So with those eggs, we've actually got to keep the humidity up around the 60% mark. You can see I've got it at 62. Temperature is normally around about the 37 to 38. It's 37.4, but definitely that humidity. The humidity is important because if it's not humid enough and the shell is too dry, the chicks won't be able to break through it because the shell dries out. Especially that membrane on the inside is more what we're talking about. It will dry out, become too leathery, and they won't be able to get out. So you've got to keep that humidity up around the 60%. Can't let it get much higher than about the 65% or more though, because if it gets that humid, then they'll actually suffocate because the shell ends up too wet on the outside and they technically drown. So it's really fine art, and we do that. We've simply got this little bottle here, and there's a little hole in the corner here, and we just basically stick that in there and a little squirt, and we just put some water in. So we're monitoring that and keeping that sorted out. Speaking of birds, we've got some wildlife that's been hanging around a bit lately. Check out these swallows.
So this is the welcome swallow, scientific name Hirundo neozina. It's long been a symbol of good luck and prosperity. They're pretty damn good at keeping the insect population down too, that's for sure, so I don't mind them hanging around here. They've been flying in and out under the roof that I put over our home. I thought they were going to nest up there, but no, they decided to nest in the dog kennel, which I prefer, to be honest. The dogs don't seem too bothered, they just watch what's going on and don't pay a lot of attention. So these little guys, they build their nest out of mud and they line it with feathers and grass on the inside to make it soft. I slowed this one down just so you can see a little bit more of that flight pattern. Speaking of wildlife, Kay and I went and paid Rory a visit this week, and boy, those baby quolls have grown as you're about to see.
See them doing so well and everything, but you get attached.
Yeah, I was telling Jace just before that they won't come home with me again after this. I'll go to work tomorrow and they'll stay. Where you going? And they'll stay at work now. They're big enough. They're going to need more time to run around and things. So,
They're really grown, eh?
yeah, about 370 grams now.
Wow.
So much more than double as big as when you last saw them.
Yeah. And eating meat and everything now.
Yeah, nice big chunks of meat.
Yeah.
Even entire mice and stuff they'll eat. So.
Yeah. They're nice and calm, yeah.
They're very friendly. It's very fun watching them fight with each other because they're not friendly with each other when they get going. But
So sibling rivalry.
yeah, pretty typical.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
You're getting big.
Now this was the one that you said had the little white toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foot,
The little white toes there, yeah.
Looking the right way.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
And for her, she's a bit lighter. You can still see that, a bit lighter, but on her tail, there's that really long spot.
Oh, yeah, the long spot, yeah.
That's fairly unique. And neither of them really have actually that many spots.
Yeah.
But I think particularly her, if you see her side, she's got some really large spots.
Yeah.
But not that many of them.
Mm.
Yeah, they're all different.
Yeah. Yeah, they are large spots there, yeah.
Go down. Where you going?
They wrap that tail around sometimes a bit like a possum.
That's right.
Use it to hold on with.
Yeah, it's probably not as good as your possum's tail, but it helps a lot. And the other types of quoll don't have a really long tail like that. So.
No, back to Dad.
And run around, you can climb back up me. I was surprised yesterday when I weighed them that she has overtaken him now.
Ah.
So I don't know if that will last. It won't last forever, but she has gone through a bit of a growth spurt where she's put on about 70 grams in the last 3 days.
Wow.
Which is pretty impressive.
It is. Oh, I saw that.
Hey, you
Took a little chunk of the arm then.
You rat bags. You can see her little teeth when she yawned there.
Yeah. Showing everyone her teeth.
Yeah, so they're pretty sharp little teeth, and it's perfect for ripping meat at the moment, and that's why they're getting larger chunks. When you visited last, they would have just been getting diced up, minced up bits, but they can actually eat their own chunky meat now.
Yeah, that's good. They're so healthy. It's fantastic to see.
Yeah, they're pretty chunky little characters. Yeah. What we like. Hey, you chunky?
Will they be separated once they're in there, or not until their breeding age?
Yeah, not until that breeding age, or probably a little bit before that. So breeding age for her will be next year at 1 year of age, whereas he won't be able to breed until he's 2. But regardless, probably about 10 months old, they'll have to be separated. You can keep female siblings together if they're kept together. You can keep female siblings together.
But if they've been separated and then put back, it's
doesn't
different.
work. Yeah. They're just completely different to a devil or an eastern quoll. Like spotted tail quolls, they're very, very territorial animals. They're not going to like to hang out with each other. Not going to tolerate each other for very long, but.
Okay, lastly, to wrap up today's video, I wanted to have a quick chat with you about our Red Earth Energy solar system. So a good mate of mine, Sean, he asked me to give a bit more about the specifics of the system, because other people might want to know what we're using and how we're finding it. So you've seen in the past where I built the solar panel array, put all the solar panels on. They were all provided by the company as well. I bought it as a bundle package. So I got those put up, and then we had the electrician come in and wire it and put it in here. So I've got it in the laundry. This basically went on the slab, and I built the laundry around it. And yes, I still haven't finished the laundry yet. You can see there's still gaps at the back. I need to get in here and get this finished as well. But at the moment, it's functional, so I thought I'd just keep going. Anyway, the Black Max system. It's a nice looking little system. I was impressed with that when we first got it, and it is doing wonders. It really is suiting our needs really well at the moment. Now, if you have a look up on the top screen up here, it will show you where you can see down the bottom you've got the battery level, and it's at full battery charge at the moment. You can also see there's those little hexagon icons, and the far left hexagon is the solar panels. So it shows that the solar panels are pushing power in, and at the moment, because the battery's full, all the power is going into the house. And you can also see up the top there the load is very minor, because there's not much being used in the house at the moment, and we'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. I can lift the lid up like this and open the front door. It's just got a key there, and this is what the system looks like on the inside. So we have 3 batteries here. They are Troppo 4841 batteries, and they're fantastic. And this little LCD screen on the inside, if I just hit the button on the side there, you'll see the LCD screen comes on. And I was told it's very important to leave the screen turned off when you're not using it, because otherwise the screens just burn out. It's just something that happens, and anyone that knows computers, if you leave your computer monitor on for any length of time, it will start to burn in the image if the image doesn't change. Same with these. So yeah, you can see there that the battery here is full at the moment, and there's a whole heap of information there about the volts that are in there and the wattage and how many amp hours are in it. A lot of this stuff goes over my head, I'll be honest. Yeah, so that's the Red Earth Energy Black Max system, which we are very happy with. I'm really glad that I went with an Australian company as well. I always try and go Australian where I can. But the support from these guys has been fantastic, and like anything, there's always going to be little teething issues, and a lot of it was my own lack of knowledge and stuff as well. But these guys were great. I was able to reach back out to them, and I think that's really important. Gave me a lot of confidence, so I'm very happy with that. Now, as for the power usage in here, those 3 batteries, they're 4.1 kilowatts each, so that gives us 12.3 kilowatts of power, which is a lot of power. And so we barely use half of that, and then it gets topped up every day, which is fantastic. Now, to monitor our power usage, I went and bought one of these little power meters. You just plug it into the power point, then you plug your device into that, and it'll tell you how much power each device is drawing, and then you can calculate that out. Now, one of the things that we did just as a quick check was the water pump, for instance. The water pump, when we're running water, it's got to pump the water up. Now, it uses, we'll go to amps now, it uses 4 amps per hour. Now, those batteries, as I said, they're a 4.1 kilowatt battery, but they hold 73 amps. I don't get it. I can't get my head around with amps and volts and kilowatts and stuff. But anyway, I can look at numbers. So 73 amps of power those batteries hold. There's 3 of them, so that gives us 210 amps of power there. That little pump, it uses 4 amps per hour. So that pump would have to run for 1 hour just to use 4 amps, and we've got 210 amps at our disposal. Now, things like the washing machine, and we don't have an oven, but we've got, you know, the television and whatnot, our lights, they all use tiny amounts of power. The chest freezer that we've got, because we're running a chest freezer now as well, it probably uses a fair bit more, but even so, it's not putting the drain on this system. With the solar panels that we've got, and we've got 16 of those big panels, it fills this up. Overnight, this drops to about half power, and by lunchtime, it's back to full power again with those solar panels on a good day, and on a bad day, it's still back to full power by the end of the day. And by a bad day, I mean a cloudy day or a cloudy, rainy day. But anyway, yeah, really good system. Now, I will talk more about the system and the company on next week's video, because I want to break it up. I don't just want to drone on about it for huge lengths of time. But like I said, service is great. I want to talk about their back to base monitoring and how I can monitor it on my phone or on a computer with the apps. We'll talk about that later on as well. And then I'm going to go into detail about some of the other systems that we've got, because I know that a lot of people who are interested in this off-gridding lifestyle are probably going to want answers of what we're doing. So I'm going to endeavour over future videos to start answering more questions, more detail about what we're doing. Also, thank you very much for the last couple of people that subscribed. We are at 401 subscribers, so thank you very much for that. That's really cool. Thank you to everyone that has subscribed over the entire, 401. There's 401 of you out there. It's great for everyone that watches YouTube, because the higher those subscriptions go up, the more YouTube will put that in front of other people that are searching similar interest topics. So you're helping everyone when you do that. So yeah, thanks very much for that. I'm sure others would thank you too. Anyway, next week we'll talk more about this system. We're going to be having the chicken coop hopefully finished. We're going to pick up the Combi chickens. You'll get to see that as well. And you should be seeing the little baby chickens hatch out of their eggs. So there's going to be lots happening next week. So make sure that you tune in for that as well. But till then, thanks very much for watching. Stay safe and take care, and I'll see you guys next Friday. Cheers.